Up in the morning and off to school. Teaching the golden rule. American history and practical math. You're studying hard, you're hoping you pass. You work your fingers to the bone. The guy behind you won't leave you alone. Ring, ring goes the bell. They're cooking your lunch ready to sell. All day long you've been wanting to eat. You're fortunate if you can find a seat. Back in your classroom, open your books. Even your teacher don't know how to read. Soon as 3 o'clock rolls around, you finally lay your burden down. Fold up your book, get out your seat. Get down the hall and into the street. Go up the curb around the bend. Right to that juke joint you walk on in. You drop the coin into the slot. You wanna hear something that's really high. All day long you want to dance. Got the one you love, you make it romance. You groove and playing it really slow. Round and round, round and round, round and round, round and round you go. Me from the days of old. Long live rock and roll. Yeah, music's their body and soul. Rock, rock, rock and roll. Hail, hail, rock and roll. Hail, hail, rock and roll. Hail, rock and roll. Hail, 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 rock and roll. Hail, hail, rock and roll.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Gootz's Disney Pod. Sorry we had to take last week off because I was in California, but we're back with the Home Alone Marathon, doing it weird. This is only the second episode, but we're up to 3. Don't worry about 1. We'll get to it someday. Here's Alison Klemp. She's back.
You don't need 1.
I mean, you kind of do.
You don't need 1. Home Alone 1, notoriously the worst of all the Home Alones.
Notoriously the biggest piece of shit.
It's like it's really a testament to the series that it overcame all the hurdles of the first one. Hey, it's me. I'm the person who hates Home Alone 1.
Do you hate Home Alone 1?
You know what's funny about Home Alone 1 is that it's a lot like World War 1 in that
the sequel's a lot more fun.
The sequel is so much better and has more Jews in it. No, like, you know, when World War One was happening, they didn't call it World War One because they didn't know there was going to be another one.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
Home Alone is kind of like that. We just called it Home Alone.
Yeah.
Back in my day, when I saw Home Alone in the theater,
I know Home Alone 2 is just a remake of Home Alone 1. I said this 2 weeks ago. I actually like Home Alone 2 a little. I guess because it's from because it reminds me more of New York. Yeah.
I love Home Alone too. I think it is. I do love Home Alone, the original, but it is exciting because it's in New York. He's moving around. He's in lots of different places versus like just this house, and it's like. But yeah, and I was like obsessed with New York when I was a kid.
That's why you moved here to have your life ruined.
I moved here. So here's the thing: I've lived in New York for over a decade now, and when I moved here, I really related to Kevin McAllister, and I really felt like I was like akin to that. And I was like, exploring, and now I feel more like the old lady in the park.
It's a circle of life.
Homeless, just living with birds. That's like.
Did you see the Plaza they've been for the past 5 years they're offering a Home Alone 2 package.
That sounds about right.
You can go there. You get a limo ride with a full cheese pizza.
With a free cheese pizza, yeah.
Then you watch
Your very own.
Yes,
cheese
your
pizza.
very own cheese pizza. Then you watch Home Alone 2, and they bring in the exact dessert tray that he gets.
Oh wow.
They you watch Home Alone 2 in the Plaza suite that you have.
If I don't get to put an already chewed up piece of gum into Rob Schneider's hand, I'm out.
I think you can.
He's available.
I mean, theoretically, you could do that anytime at the Plaza.
He's around.
You could just just shove gum in the staff's hand all the time.
I'm surprised. Tip left. Sorry.
I'm surprised the Plaza was cool that because that movie does make the entire staff of the Plaza look like incompetent buffoons.
Yeah. Also, remember when they were like, there were people who were saying that they should edit out Donald Trump.
Yeah, no way.
Home Alone 2.
No. Why would you do that? He literally tells them where the front desk is. Without
Yeah,
him,
we would not know.
he's the hero. He's actually like.
It's really important to the plot.
I mean, would you? I think no matter what, I mean, even if Trump gets reelected and causes this country to collapse, I think we should still keep him in Home Alone 2.
No, we should always keep him. He's
to remind us of what we did.
Listen, you can't. Donald Trump, you cannot separate Donald Trump from New York, especially like 80s and 90s New York. And it's like, we can't erase history.
You can't. You have to remember how this started.
Right.
And it started with Home Alone 2.
And it's like, look, Home Alone 2 was like the least bad thing that Trump was doing in 1994.
1992.
Whatever, 1992.
Yeah.
Yeah, look. Listen, if we had just put Trump in more movie cameos, maybe he wouldn't have spent so much time and money accusing those boys of rape.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, if he had been like, if they said, "Would you want to be a burglar?" or if Home Alone 3 was about Trump Towers,
yeah,
I think he would have been okay.
Yeah, we just like keep giving him free publicity.
Yeah, Yeah, just attention.
Maybe he wouldn't have harmed all those people.
Speaking of harming people. Home Alone 3. But before we get into that, Allison, it's been like a year and a few months. Last time was like, I guess, summer of 2021.
Yeah.
What have you been up to since then?
Sitting alone in a dark room waiting for you to call me.
I figured. I mean, that's what every comic does around here until I'm ready for a Disney podcast.
Just waiting for Gootz to
apparently,
give me the
except for
green
Molly
light.
Kornfeld, who's so busy now.
Cut that out.
I'm sorry. Don't worry. Nah, she's great. She's going to be on the show. She really is. I actually canceled the last.
I left a pause so you could cut that part out. I left a pause there so you could cut that part out.
Anyway. But what have you been up to besides crying that you're not on the show?
Not much. Got married.
Oh yeah, that's right. I was there.
You were there.
I know.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nikki says hi.
Oh, cool. Yeah, Nikki was there.
Nikki was there. Many people were there. Many people were not there, and they're all dead to me now. So.
Yeah, there were comics that were not there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And non-comics, but mostly, yeah. This just it. If you didn't come to my wedding and you got an invitation, I hate you.
There you go.
Unless you got a nice gift, in which case you're cool.
What if they gave you the gift of Home Alone 3 on DVD? Would you have forgiven them then?
I will light their house on fire.
Imagine.
I will booby trap. Well, house is generous.
I can't make
it,
honest. But have you seen Home Alone 3? Here you go.
Here it is on DVD. Good luck finding something to play it on.
Well, yeah. Yeah, your wedding was fun. I liked seeing Denver. It's funny how much the rest of the country loves pizza, but they're just never. Because I remember like we all went out drinking, and 2 a.m. everywhere shuts down, but here, and everyone ran to this pizza parlor, and I'm like, I can guarantee you that's not going to be any good. But
I think it was probably just open.
Well, it was also the only thing open. No, there was a gyro truck also open, and Christine her sister went there. I'm like, don't get street gyros in Denver.
Was this the night of the wedding?
No, it was the night before the wedding.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, the night of the wedding, there were other things going on, as you're aware of.
I mean, kind of. I was not there.
You weren't in the room, but
I was consummating my marriage.
I will say, if there was a gyro truck in front of the hotel, I still wouldn't have gotten it. I would have been like, no.
All right.
Just no.
We get it. You're from New York.
No gyros in Denver. All right.
You're not allowed to eat them. If you move to Denver and you like gyros, go fuck yourself.
Go fuck your mother, all right?
Nice try.
Nice try.
Go to another city.
Go live somewhere where they got gyros. Like, you had that barbecue food. That's good. That's what you eat in Denver. And fudge. The fudge was great. Remember the fudge?
Good luck with your cholesterol on your barbecue fudge diet in Denver.
Just eat barbecue and fudge. No, can I tell you something I
the
learned?
Healthiest cities in
I learned this
America.
lesson in Arizona. If you're in somewhere with mountains and they're selling fudge, buy the fudge.
Oh, yeah. Mountain fudge is always really good.
Yeah,
I don't know
because
why.
that's all white people do in mountains is make good fudge.
Listen, again, white people in the mountains, let's keep them busy.
Yeah.
Let's have them associate the color brown with something positive.
Yeah, like fudge. Yeah.
Listen, we need to get this in everywhere we can. We need to work. We need to really work the PR campaign with the whites,
with
especially
the whites.
in Colorado. I don't know if you've heard.
I saw. As soon as your wedding happened, they decided to pass every single bill to make sure your wedding will never happen there again.
Yeah. They were like, no more straight weddings.
They were like, what the fuck? What the fuck was that? And then they passed. Like they did like 9,000 bills eventually against gay people and trans people, like last month or something.
In Colorado?
Yeah, they passed a bunch of bills against them.
I don't think so.
I could have swore they did.
Not in Colorado.
Okay.
Colorado's pretty cool with gays. We have a gay governor. And,
okay. Oh, you do?
Yeah, Jared Polis is gay.
Oh, okay.
And he doesn't make a big fucking show about it like Mayor Pete.
Oh, that guy. Well, that guy, half the time I
He's
feel like
not really
that
gay.
guy's like, yeah, that's like for show.
The T, Mayor Pete straight. He's CIA.
That's like Tulia, what's her name? Tupa?
Oh, God, Matilda.
Tulip, what's her name? Tulsa.
Tulsi Gabbard?
The Democrat who's not really Democrat.
She's not a Democrat. She left the party.
Oh, she left?
Yeah.
That was a matter of...
I think she's getting her show on Fox News, so...
Oh, well, you got to leave.
There you go.
I mean, you got to get on Gutfeld so you can...
Gutfeld!
Yeah.
Gutfeld!
So it's...
You have to pronounce the exclamation point.
God, is that how they say it on the show?
No, that's how I say it. I like to say it like Garfield.
Gutfeld! Speaking of Gutfeld, Christmas time. Now, were you into Christmas movies and shit, like when you were younger?
Yeah.
I know now you do whiskey. So Allison does Whiskey Basketball Day, where she watches basketball and drinks whiskey.
My husband.
Your husband started.
My husband.
Yes.
He invented many years ago, BA before Allison. He invented a holiday called Whiskey Basketball Day.
Yeah.
It is on December 25th.
Mm-hmm.
It consists of drinking whiskey, watching all five NBA games that play on Christmas, and then optional sitting on the floor.
Yes.
So.
And that's what you do now. But before that...
But now now it's like more of like a group thing.
No, yeah.
But yeah, before that I celebrated secular Christmas, which is something I keep trying to explain to my Jewish husband, that you can have Christmas without Jesus.
Yes, you can.
And that's all. We were not like a church house.
Mm-hmm.
Your dog is farting on top of my pussy right now. Just so you know, I need you to understand the level of professionalism I'm bringing to this podcast.
Which dog?
You know which dog.
Yeah.
The one that farts. The one whose farts are like in nuclear explosions.
Well, she only farts like that when she's happy, so.
Oh, great. Well, she's doing a Hiroshima.
As she's licking Jasmine.
Yeah, it's really a clusterfuck over here.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had like Christmas and shit. I love Christmas. I love decorating. Actually, you know what? I love someone else having bought all the decorations, and then I just get to.
I like walking into someplace. Like, look at the decorations. You know, it's so funny because I decorate outside, as you know.
Yes.
I never decorate inside because I just feel like at this point, it's kind of a waste because it's just me alone half the time.
Yeah.
But I like decorating out.
Also, you'd have to like move the
Clean.
like eBay inventory of.
Oh yeah, that front room.
know,
Well, that's I'm
all
trying
of
to.
your
Those are
paraphernalia.
those are all on sale. So, but yeah, like I don't know, like I just don't feel the need to decorate inside. I like decorating outside. I'll tell you what's better than Christmas though.
Well, this is like childhood memories, you know. So.
Oh yeah, I loved. You know,
now.
it's so funny. It's been 25 years since I put up a Christmas tree. Like, we just stopped doing Christmas trees. Well, we still watched movies and shit, and my mom would have Christmas music on, but we just stopped doing the tree. And I don't miss putting up. I haven't put up a tree in 25 years, and I don't miss it.
I do.
You miss putting up a tree?
Well, I will only be doing fake trees probably, but.
Oh yeah, we only did fake trees. My mom was certain that a real tree would burn the house down.
I had a fake tree in 2015 because my older brother bought a new fake tree, and so they gave me their old one, and I left it at that apartment when I moved. So
yeah, I haven't.
And then I've been with this ornery Jew who's been very anti-Christmas.
Okay.
So, but we're working on it. We got negotiations, I think, on the table.
Negotiations for Santa
to have a secular Christmas at some point.
Well,
I'm taking him to Vegas to see my dad for.
You should you know what I would do for him for Christmas is put on
basketball day.
Well, but also to introduce him to make him understand it's not like all sunshine and rainbows. Maybe put on some Christmas horror films. Those get me in the spirit. Some weird Christmas movies.
What's your favorite Christmas horror film?
Black Christmas.
All right. I don't think I've ever watched a Christmas horror film, now that I'm thinking of it.
Black Christmas is really good. It's really, really good. Margot Kidder's in it. It's by the same guy who did Christmas Story, which is what's so weird about
Another movie neither Nate or I have seen.
I finally watched it last year when I had COVID.
Is it overrated?
Yes,
yeah.
Very, very overrated. But
I mean, all kids' movies... People just like the movies that they saw when they were kids. Like, I never watched The Goonies growing up. Fucking cancel me!
I saw it once.
Cancel me because I never watched The Goonies.
I've only seen it once.
Knew... I saw enough of it, you know? Like, it'd be on and whatever. Like, I get the gist, you know? But, it doesn't do anything for me. But, you go back and watch this movie now. And that's the thing, all of the stuff with, when people are mad about the female Ghostbusters, it's, ruining their childhood. It's you loved that movie.
Well, that was a pretty bad movie.
Okay, yeah. But it's just whatever though. All these remakes, right? They're doing tons of remakes. Most of them do suck. But it's you just love that movie because you were a child. People who are children now who are watching these movies, they don't know. They're fucking dumb kids. So they're just yeah,
someone
this
on
great.
Twitter wrote 2004 was the best year for movies, and people my childhood or the best year to be a kid, and I was that year sucked. They put all the 2004 movies, and I'm that year, I remember that year being year being not that great.
Couldn't tell you what a single.
But even just the year in general,
me.
I was that's your favorite year.
I don't know. I was in high school, getting ready to graduate and shit.
Mm-hmm. But it's so funny. You're right. Everyone eventually, people will look back on today, this year, and be oh man, fucking just sitting watching Netflix with my mom, childhood. You know, and it's
they're oh, Great British Baking Show is my childhood.
Yeah,
you know, it's just whatever you did that you associate with positive memories.
Yeah, that's why I watch
which is why I like Christmas, because it was my family fought a lot, and so it's just okay, we're all nice to each other on Christmas.
Yeah, I like putting on the Hallmark Channel this time of year. I don't like those movies, but I just like leaving that channel on while I do stuff or I go to bed.
It's just good background noise.
It's just it's just fucking. It's just positive energy, and now they're being more inclusive, which is why Candace Cameron had to fucking run, because
gays celebrating Christmas, not in my network.
Dude.
You know, Christmas is so gay. I'm sure this is a bit that someone has, but Christmas is so fucking gay. Mm-hmm. The gays should have it. Christmas and Halloween.
The music is not, music is all dancey and
it's all written by gay people.
Happy and shit. But yeah, dude, I think you've gone too far when you're the Hallmark Channel was a little bit too much, so I had to go.
The Hallmark Channel is too racy.
Too racy. It's a little bit too liberal.
Do you see what I did there? Yeah.
The
socialist Hallmark Channel.
Yeah. She thought people were gonna be you're right, and everyone was you're fucking insane, you know.
Yeah, except for like the other insane people.
Yeah, like people were like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" But you know what's better than Christmas?
January.
Early January.
Oh
like
man, took the words right
January
out of my mouth.
3rd through about
Like
the 12th.
not Martin Luther King Day because we don't
No,
celebrate that.
that's too later.
Yeah, but like the early, like, you know, after New Year's.
Right when you're taking down the decorations and
No,
putting them
you're
away.
not taking them down.
Yeah, well, that's what they were doing in this thing.
Well, listen, not in my life. We're not taking the decorations down
Until February.
Yeah, I mean, look, definitely not before MLK Day.
No, by the way, nothing's more depressing than a Christmas commercial like on like January like 29th or something. Like, really, guy? Like, you couldn't take this out of rotation. You know?
Yeah, someone forgot to hit delete on the lineup.
Yeah, like that's really kind of depressing. We watched Home Alone 3. Now, here's the deal about Home Alone 3. It takes place after Christmas,
January
6th or
8th.
5th. Around that.
Couple days after.
2 weeks after. I don't know why they thought that's their first mistake right there. I don't know why they thought that was a good idea.
You know when everyone's like, "Oh, yeah, Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa even."
Yeah.
And then everyone's favorite, New Year's Eve, getting drunk, staying up till midnight.
Mm-hmm. New Year's Day, watching football.
New Year's Day football.
Taking it easy.
Brunch.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just fucking nursing that hangover.
Yep.
Eating some food that's like, oh, okay, I know I said I would be better in the new year, but this doesn't count because I'm still drunk from last night.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The New Year starts on the 2nd. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
The first
New Year's Day is just an odd day.
New Year's Day is just a recovery day.
It's just an odd day.
But then guess what? Now we got a whole fresh week to go back to the sobering reality of work and school.
It's always like there's always like a sadness.
Oh,
in
and
the
now
air.
all the bills from December coming in.
Like
Shit.
all the credit card bills. You're like, whatever, just put on my card.
Holy shit, our electric bill is crazy.
Yeah. Like,
no lights over the tree next year.
And they decided that they were gonna make a movie. This is a really like all the decisions.
Everything you loved about the first 2 Home Alones
is gone.
Christmas, Macaulay Culkin,
Annette O'Toole, is that her name?
What?
No, the Catherine O'Hara. Catherine O'Hara. Yeah. Annette O'Toole.
Yeah, Catherine O'Hara. Fucking the guy
Joe
who plays
Pesci.
the dad. Joe Pesci. The other guy.
Marv.
Fuck,
Even like the staff of the plaza.
Oh yeah.
Even like Buzz, the shitty brother. Everyone is just gone. It's
Everyone's
gone.
Kieran Culkin
even not here. It is a really lot of odd choices in this movie. A lot of odd, like, unsettling what is going on choices.
This movie transitioned throughout it. This movie was trans genre.
Yeah.
It like it started off. First of all, the movie opens at night in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Like all of your family holiday romps do. And
they're like torturing a guy.
Yeah, it's just like it was like, is this like which Die Hard spinoff are we watching?
And they really did feel like a Steven Seagal, Bruce Willis style villains.
And the music was like very intense.
Yes.
Like scary music. And it's like, yes, a children's movie. Like I was scared and I'm a grown woman.
Yeah, the guy's begging for his life and they have this they get a chip. And I think the chip isn't the chip supposed to fuck up like missiles or something? Like
it was like supposed to set off some missiles or something.
Yeah, it's supposed to like basically fuck
They like
up.
stole some kind of Department of Defense computer chip.
Yeah.
It's 1997 also, right? So let's keep in mind the technology.
Yeah, they only have one of these chips.
Yeah.
So, and these guys have it. And they decide that they're going to put it in a toy car to smuggle it in.
And they have this toy car which conveniently has a little port on the inside that is exactly the size of the computer chip. Incredible coincidence.
And then they lose it on the airplane.
Classic mix 'em up.
That's what happened. That's what happened with Holly. That's why
remember I love any movie where you get pre 9/11 airport scenes.
Yeah.
It's like what a world.
Yeah.
We were just doing anything. Smoking, just breezing on through security, just no problems. Everyone's mixing up. It's just a musical chairs of bags at security.
Yeah, everyone's just grabbing different bags. They just decided to jump on the plane to Chicago.
They just get on the plane.
They didn't have
a ticket.
No.
They just mix themselves up in the crowd.
Even Home Alone 2, like how he gets on the plane to New York, which just never happened 10 years later.
It's just like, oh, we mixed up all the papers. Well, just get
on, kid.
Go. You're a kid. You're a kid alone. Get on the plane. What's the worst that can happen?
And
you get raped.
They get to Chicago. This old woman... She has the toy car in her bag.
Also, wait, let's back up. There's like 4 like bad guys. And you can tell they're bad guys because they're all wearing like long leather black jackets.
Yes.
And they all have like different accents.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what other reason would these people come together if not crime?
Not crime and stealing.
So like in like
they all kind of look like other actors.
Yeah.
Like the main guy looks like Gabriel Byrne from Usual Suspects.
Mm-hmm.
The other bad guy looks like David Schwimmer.
Oh, yeah, he did.
The other guy looks like Michael Imperioli from Sopranos.
But they're all like less attractive versions. And like even like the mom is like
a less attractive Catherine.
This is a classic type movie. Get me a Catherine O'Hara type.
Yes.
You know, get me
even
a David
the dad's
Schwimmer
like a
type.
shitty John Hurd. Even the little
John Hurd, that's his name.
The little shitty brother is like
get
a
us
shittier Buzz.
Type.
A shittier Buzz. Like they probably could have just got Buzz.
Scarlett Johansson, by the way.
Well, she was a step up. The other two sisters, the sisters in the original movies.
But she like her look was reminiscent
of the
two
sisters.
Sister.
Yeah.
But yeah, the dark horse of this movie is Scarlett Johansson, who's like 12 in this movie.
I forgot how many teen sisters he has in these movies. When I saw Home Alone, like where did he?
They were like cousins. He had a bunch of cousins.
I know, but he also has one real sister.
Yeah.
And then there's like, but like I'm like, wow, there's like a lot of like teenagers in this family. I forgot how many teenagers. There's like a lot. It makes sense because that's how you get. But like, there's just
They're
a lot
Irish.
of characters that have nothing. Do you know they're doing a Home Alone reunion of just the kids without Macaulay Culkin and Kieran Culkin? Like, who would give a shit about these kids?
Listen, they need a paycheck. Let them eat.
All right, I know. It's just like they didn't do anything.
Have you heard the theory about about his dad?
That he's an arms dealer? Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I thought just mafia, but yeah, arms dealer also applies.
But that would make sense. Also, I think the brother's in on it. The brother owns an apartment in Paris.
Oh yeah, brother's definitely in on it.
Yeah. I would agree, and
that like vacant townhouse in New York is also sus.
It's also very suspect.
It's all like money laundering, like tax shelter shit.
Well, I always had this idea for the final.
He always carries a bag of all that cash.
That's right. He always has cash on him.
Like giant bag.
He pays for their trips. The dad, they mentioned Home Alone 2, your dad's paying for this trip to Florida. Mm-hmm. It's like, why would anyone pay for this many people?
Well, and also the dead giveaway is when Joe Pesci like comes as the cop, and the dad is like so sketched out that there's a cop there. He's like, oh, what's the problem? And it's like, if you were like a rich white guy in a house like that and a cop showed up, you would not be like, oh no, are we in trouble? Like you would not be like, you know?
Yeah.
You'd be like, oh, the guy who looks out for me because
isn't like the big clue is like the tickets he throws in the trash. There's like a clue on the ticket that he's like doing something.
Oh, maybe.
You know what?
Let's roll it back. Let's watch the other.
Let's watch Home Alone 1 instead of this. Well, I'll tell you. Here's my thing about the dad in Home Alone 3. He's just an idiot. He's not doing up.
He's like truly so stupid.
Both parents.
He almost left the house without pants on.
Yes.
In the wintertime.
Mm-hmm.
So the movie starts out very like intense.
Yeah.
And we're like, what are we watching? And as the whole thing like progresses, like once you get to the point, especially when like they're like breaking in, it's like a Looney Tunes cartoon at that point. Like the sound effects are like bing bonk blah, 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 you know? And it's just like I enjoyed it, but it's just like it was such a drastic tone shift.
It was such a drastic tone shift, and I think because John Hughes wrote this, and I think he originally wrote it with the Kevin McAllister in mind, and he was like, we're not gonna have the uncle come back. It's just gonna be about him being home, and I think he's like, well, I need to up the villain. Right. Because he can't, so that's why I think he decided that he's going to fight terrorists. Then Macaulay Culkin was like, I'd rather just not have a career. But it's a
I
really
think he's doing okay.
no, he's good. It's a really bad script. It's just a bad script. The tone is weird. It's not funny. It's probably his least funny script he's ever written.
I had some laughs. I had some chuckles. There was fun physical comedy.
The physical comedy gets funny, but I'm talking like just the lines.
It was a long road to get there, though.
Yes.
It was a long road until it got to be
because he's never actually home alone.
The fun movie. Yeah, I mean, it is a much more plausible reason for why he's home. That he's just sick with the chicken pox. But I don't know. Honestly, I think he should have been scratching more. This was bothering me.
Yeah, he didn't really
The dad
scratch.
was like, "Don't scratch." Like they kind of made it was like a moment of him being like, "Don't scratch your chicken pox," and then he just didn't.
Jasmine. Yeah.
Like, what? What child is this?
Yeah.
This is the big problem I have with
the
movie.
He didn't really. Well, he did it.
Everything else.
Have you had chicken pox?
Yeah, I have a scar.
I was in agony.
I was in agony
as a kid. It was
also,
like
so there's this. They had to mirror the scream, and it was like him looking at his chicken pox. And spoiler alert, guys. I'm so sorry, but he's and groomer alert. You don't see anything, but he's in the bathroom and
he screams.
He takes off. He's like, you can tell that he's taking off his pajamas, and he looks down, and the implication is that there's a chicken pox on his dick, right?
Yeah.
Or his butt, or whichever.
Yeah, they did show up on my dick. Sorry.
Yeah, well, I got mine on my puss.
Jesus, that's an yeah. I had
didn't call
that
it
shit
that.
on my dick, my 5-year-old dick.
It was very scary.
It was. It's like nothing shows up.
I was also like, I just figured out that this thing exists.
Yeah. And now there's pimples all.
And now
they were all. There was 4
sores.
or 5. You just woken that memory up.
Well, and also it's you don't want to be scratching your privates.
Yeah,
in
you're
front of your
not
family.
used to weird shit.
You don't want your mom to watch you fisting yourself.
Yeah.
It's not a good look.
So he screams, and so Scarlett Johansson has 5 lines in this script.
2 of them are about her brother's genitals.
Her first line is, "I gotta go. I think my brother slammed his dick in the toilet," and I'm like,
His thing.
It's
a family movie.
But how big is this kid's cock that he's slamming a toilet seat down on his penis?
And then Dad hears that he's on a business call. He's like, "Gotta go. My son slammed his thing in the toilet again." This is a habitual problem.
This is a problem he constantly has. But
this all big old salami is just getting caught.
Yeah, because I can't.
This is why you gotta circumcise your kids.
Yeah, so they don't slam their junk on the toilet seat.
Yeah.
And then she goes "Are there chicken pox on your ass?" She brings up his dick and his ass.
It was much worse. She said, "Buttock."
Buttock. Oh, they made her say buttock.
It was just again, whose man's is this? No child.
Yeah, she said it she wants to see it.
A kid. Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah,
it was a weird. Yeah.
Her character was very weird.
It's probably because a pedophile was directing her. I don't know. I'm not saying that but whoever was on set. It could have been anyone.
I mean,
not trying to implicate anyone.
I'm surprised
Allegedly.
Fucking John Hughes didn't get inspired by her like he was with Molly Ringwald. That Molly Ringwald John Hughes
he learned
thing.
His lesson.
I'm sorry?
He learned his lesson.
That Molly
Nobody
Ringwald
did that poor woman.
John Hughes saga because I read a book about John Hughes this year and I never saw any of his movies. His main movies. I saw Home Alone. Which by the way, Home Alone completely changed him as a person. But he saw her on Facts of Life, and she was 9 back then, and he wrote 16 Candles for her and tracked her down, and it's I don't know, that's weird.
Yeah, I think we need to move away from
John
the
Hughes.
grown men having muses that are teenage girls.
He got mad because
We're canceling John Hughes.
Those movies aren't that good. I'll tell his 2 best movies are Ferris Bueller.
Ferris Bueller's a perfect movie.
And Home Alone.
Yeah.
And when he made Home Alone, it made so much money. I think Molly Ringwald called him, and he was like, "I'm done with that teen shit." And he revealed how much money he made. He made $100 million in a month off VHS sales. He goes, "I'm never making another teen movie again because look at the money I'm making with this garbage." And then he became really arrogant because no one a comedy and I think to this day a comedy's never grossed what that first one grossed. So he was like, "Yeah, no more I don't know, no more being inspired by teen girls. I'm inspired by money now."
Yeah. Well, I guess that's a win for teen girls.
I guess that's a win for the teen girls of the 90s. They just had Josh Whedon to molest them.
I don't know. Let's get a good word from Scarlett Johansson on how he was on set.
Well, he was. I don't think he wasn't on set. That's when he kind of retired. He kind of vanished. He just handed the script.
He wrote it. He was a producer. I don't know.
That's true. He probably showed up on set, just yelled at everybody and left. They did have like a lot of like John Hughes style music cues.
Yeah.
In this movie. But yeah, she only has two weird lines, and then buttock. And then he has chicken pox for a few days, and he starts, as most kids do, spying on the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. And he notices that there's criminals. And he calls the cops twice, and the cops do nothing, like they always do.
And everyone gets mad at him.
Everyone's mad at him that he called. And he's also the laughing stock in the neighborhood.
Alarm. Yeah.
Because nothing...
Which, I don't know. Did you ever do a fake call to the police?
No. Did you?
It wasn't a fake call. I mean, it was, but it wasn't on purpose.
I mean, I've called the police on stuff that wasn't a big deal. Like it turned out not to be big, like Caroline's or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You called the police on Caroline's?
No. Like there was a customer about to go crazy, and preemptively I've called the cops. I was told to.
Right.
And then everything was squared by the time the cops got there. But they didn't give me a lecture about how I wasted their time. Right. Yeah.
Also, there are so many things in this movie that so many people alive today would not understand. Like, I think people know that beepers existed, but like speed dial. Do people know about speed dial? The Gen Z kids I work with don't even know what CDs are.
There's just speed dial now. Like everything is speed dial. You just find the guy's
put
name.
the name in. Yeah. But yeah, so in case there's anyone who doesn't know, speed dial when you had, landline phones.
Mm-hmm. You put a couple numbers on.
You could store numbers, and then you hit the speed dial button, and then whatever number, like a preset on a radio. Mm-hmm. And so one would be like your mom or whatever, and then because I'm over there all the time at your mom's house, having sex with her, and whatever. So I wanted to call. So the speed dial features in the movie, but I wanted to call like one of my friends, and I didn't really know how to use the phone, but I had seen my parents using speed dial. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, okay, that's how you make phone calls. And the speed dial button was like kind of at the bottom. And then they were like usually calling someone who's like speed dial was at the top because it was like their top call people. So I was just guessing and I was pressing buttons. And lo and behold, your girl accidentally hit 911.
Oh, shit. All right.
Perfect.
What a tie-in.
So like, oh, 911, what's your emergency? And then I just got scared. And I didn't say anything, and then I hung up the phone.
Did they show up at the house?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they did?
This is like suburban Milwaukee.
Oh, so they have nothing to do.
I was like 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have nothing to do. And, yeah, it was like a fire truck, police cars, ambulance, tiny little suburban street, super quiet. I was like hiding. I was so scared. I was like crying because I thought I was like gonna go to jail. Mm-hmm. And they were super nice to me, and they like gave me a sticker. So
that was nice at least.
If you ever call in a false alarm, just start crying hysterically. And that was the first time I learned that lesson as a woman to get out of trouble with the cops. Just start crying.
And the cops were like, here's stickers.
Yeah. Now that I'm older, it has less success, but it did work when I was younger.
Now you're older. They're just like...
They're like, actually, you have a long record, and we are sick of seeing you here.
Are you protesting again? Get out of here.
We thought you learned your lesson when we pepper sprayed you.
Yeah, he calls the cops twice. The cops are nice. It really does kind of feel like cop PR, those two scenes. Well, we don't want you to be afraid to call us. But also, you can't waste our time. But we're your friends.
We're very busy. We're in the suburbs of Chicago.
Yeah.
We're in the affluent suburbs of Chicago. We have tons going on.
Mm-hmm. He loves rich people that live in Chicago. He just can't get enough of them.
Isn't he from?
He is from Chicago.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Right what you know.
Right. I mean, that's true. Yeah. But I didn't realize until I got older how much money the family in Home Alone 1 and 2 has to have for any of that movie to happen.
Yeah.
Like, and same thing with these people, because these people, like, they're having their house renovated. It's like 3 stories.
Yeah. I had, like, no concept. Also, it was the 90s, so, like, housing costs were different. But, like,
that's true.
Even still, the house in 1 is, like, huge.
Yeah.
Which, like, I didn't really have a concept for that when I was a kid. But now
I remember my mom said that's the most beautiful house I've ever seen, and I was like, "What's the big deal?" And now I'm like, "Oh yeah, that was a fucking impressive house."
I also like. I guess I mean this didn't really happen until I got older, but like when I was older, like middle school, high school, I went to school with a lot of rich kids. We were not rich. We were, we did well. We were middle class, but like we lived like near the super rich neighborhoods. And then I went to private school, and it was just like obscene wealth, like super sweet 16 wealth. So yeah, it was just like just weird bubble shit. But like you live in New York, so where it's like even the rich people have super tiny.
Yeah.
homes.
I you know what? I just realized if he had like a really small house, like if it was just him and his mom and his dad and like a 1-floor house, the movie would have been a lot boring. Would have been pretty boring, the first one, because none of it has to be a big house.
You have to have
like,
a big house.
I'm lost. I'm
Gotta have all the
alone
booby traps.
in this massive house. I can run around it, and also he has a lot of area to fight the villains.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess it has to be big.
You need to have a basement.
Yeah.
You need to have
An
multiple
attic.
entrances.
Yes, so I guess like I'm like, oh, fuck you, rich people. But I mean, they have to. The kid has to be rich for it to really work.
Yeah,
so.
like you can't do Home Alone in a townhouse.
Yeah, can't do Home Alone in a 1-bedroom apartment in Bushwick. I mean, you could.
Your neighbors are just gonna be like, "What the fuck is going on?"
What are you doing? Are you beating up Joe Pesci? He's trying to rob my house. Did you like these villains at all? I did not like them. If I really miss Pesci and Stern.
You really felt that loss. It took 4 people to not even make a dent in the impact that they had on the first 2 movies.
Yeah.
I hated them at first, and I softened to only mostly disliking them by the end of it.
I thought the woman was good. I thought she was like the most interesting. Maybe I don't know. I thought, but like they had her like they tried to see like she's more competent than the other ones,
right?
But then like she would make insanely stupid mistakes.
Yeah. Well, they were clowns.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, like once it started getting super ridiculous and goofy, then
you kind of went.
Then
along
I
with
started liking them more.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it just was so ridiculous, and like they had really fun, like silly facial expressions.
They
which
did
was most of the third act of the
They
movie.
did, but it kind of doesn't match because like they're very serious Steven Seagal villains in the first half of the movie. And then they become cartoon characters in the second half. And I kind of think, what if they just started as silly when the movie starts?
Which is what Pesci and Stern did.
Yes,
they
because
were silly the whole time.
Yes, because you know what's going to happen. You know, like they're not going to shoot the family and then walk away with a computer chip or whatever. You know they're going to be like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? And it's
PG
like,
movie.
yeah, they're going to be fucking idiots. So it's like start off with them because it's like so jarring with. Get the chip. What is your position? And then he's like, oh, no, the parrot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, it doesn't match. It's weird. And then they work with North Korea. That was the other thing.
They just dropped that in.
Yeah.
Real late.
That North Korea's involved in this.
All these people are white, by the way, for anyone
Yeah.
who hasn't seen. If you haven't seen Home Alone 3.
You haven't seen Home Alone 3.
Don't worry.
Not
Don't worry. It's a John Hughes movie. Everyone's white.
Not very diverse.
It's it's like white people with dark hair, which is like, yeah, I guess they are from Hong Kong or whatever. Like,
yeah, they're from one of those European countries that works with North Korea.
Everybody's just meeting up. They're just like a ragtag bunch of spies or whatever.
Yeah, I got the sense he like just watched a Steven Seagal movie one night, like probably Under Siege, and he was like, "Yeah, they'll be the villains. That's good."
Yeah, I just felt like he was on different drugs when he wrote the beginning of the movie versus like the rest of the movie.
So the villains, they're looking for the car. The kid kind of deduces that these guys aren't supposed to be in the neighborhood. Everything kind of starts with him.
They somehow figure out that because it was like a shopping bag that this remote car was
with a remote control car
was what got mixed up at security. Yeah. So they're all they're checking every shopping bag that looks like it in the airport. They somehow check the entire airport in like 30 seconds.
Yes, they go all cafes and are clean. I'm like, how did you do that that fast?
All the restaurants, all the bathrooms.
Yeah,
he's like, nothing's in the bathroom. Like the bathroom.
Yeah, the one.
And where were they?
Did you check all the fucking terminals too, buddy?
But yeah, somehow just by staring at the list of departures, the main bad guy figured out that it was going to Chicago. He's like, it must be on a plane. We got to go to the Chicago. So they sneak on the plane. And then they just saw the taxi. that the woman with the stolen bag was getting into. They had a camera in the glove. This is incredible 1997 technology. A little spy camera in his glove took incredible shots of this taxi that like uploaded to a personal device, like a pre-iPhone.
Yeah, yes, it was a pre-iPhone. He
and
uploaded
then they
it.
Stalked the cab driver.
Demanded information out of him, which
They
he
just asked him.
Yeah.
They were like, "Who did you take from the airport?" And he was like, "An old lady," and like perfectly described her house. And it was like, "Is this common?"
Well, that's what happens every Law and Order episode. I mean, that's a John Mulaney bit. It was like, now that you think about it.
Yeah, but it's
4 years
it's not
ago.
the cops. It's just random people.
I know, it's true.
Oh, it's after a long night of driving people around. These super scary villain type people in the dark approach me and ask for answers, and I was like, "Well, yeah, this was this broad.
Yeah, it was right there, that house. Yeah.
No way they're gonna go try to take advantage of this old lady. No one does that.
Rob her and beat her and fucking. Yes. So they buy a house. They lease a house.
They lease a house. Conveniently, a house was being leased.
Yes.
In this neighborhood. Big renters market.
Yes, big renters market. And they steal a dog. They kidnap a dog.
They stole many dogs.
They did, right?
There was like this lady had a different dog every time she was outside.
She did. So she could do
the
walk.
Never suspicious.
So they could.
She's a dog walker.
These are like master criminals.
Her front is that she's a dog walker.
And they're looking for like this toy car. And their plan to get the toy car, like I'm still not sure what their exact plan was with her walking back and forth. And
they were casing.
Okay.
They were casing the neighborhood.
Okay.
She was blending in. Sometimes
she was blending in.
Sometimes she had a baby doll in a stroller. Totally normal. No one thinks this is weird. And then other times she just had different people's dogs that she, I guess, had stolen from their houses.
So she could just walk them up and down the block.
Yeah. And all these dogs, by the way, were totally fine to just go with.
Well, Matilda probably would be totally fine if that woman just
true.
grabbed her. You just fart a lot. But I mean, look at Matilda. She basically just passed out on your lap.
Listen, both the dogs are passed out on my lap.
That's true. But Jasmine knows you now. Matilda
knows me. I've been
okay, all right. That's true. But I'm just saying, this woman showed up and said, Matilda, we're going for a walk. Matilda would probably be like, okay.
Yeah, that's true. Most dogs are dumb.
Yeah, they'd be like, I'll go with you. So the kid.
She has bad energy, though. You know? Dogs can tell when you're, like, bad.
Oh, yeah, she did have bad energy.
Jasmine barked at cops tonight.
All right. Oh, that was good.
Was so good. It was so funny.
That's so
and she like doesn't really bark.
No, every now and then she decides she doesn't like somebody.
I've only really seen her bark at like big dogs.
Yeah, she thinks she's tougher than the big dogs.
I think she's just trying to puff up.
Yeah.
But it's so funny. She'll like try to go at a Rottweiler and it's like, what are you doing? You're the size of my hand.
I'll fucking kill you, Rottweiler. So the kid knows, all right, there's some people not supposed to be here inside that house. This is the most I mean, there's scenes where people should be dead or like bleeding out on the sidewalk and what he does to them. But this to me is the most unbelievable scene. This fucking cheap ass toy car that they probably got at KB Toys. This kid can have that car go into a house down the block, go inside the house. Like the amount of shit this kid could get this cheap ass fucking car to do. That was the most implausible thing. Have you ever had one of those cars? They go out of range real fucking fast.
Yeah, also when he was like starting to slow down, he's like, oh no, it's going out of range. And it just went to another window.
He just went to another window.
And then it somehow went like 200 yards.
Yeah, it went like so the car and he has the parrot call them. Also, you know what? I hated the parrot. I gotta say, parrot was a fucking asshole.
Yeah, I don't like caged birds.
And the mouse being part of the plan.
Rat.
The rat
is an albino rat.
Yeah,
and was like his bestie that like understood English and commands.
Yeah, I could understand that I have to fool these criminals and sit in their crotch
and like got jokes and like would laugh.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, Stuart Little. Basically.
Yeah. Like I hate that when like the animal is like, because let me tell you something. If I say, okay, Jasmine, go now, Jasmine would just run up and like greet those terrorists, like, hi.
Because like I'll tell you another thing, like the tarantula in the first one, just did like regular tarantula shit. It wasn't like some super tarantula.
No, it wasn't. Like, it wasn't. It was just there on his face.
It just existed, and that
didn't like the tarantula get lost too? Like he couldn't find them or something at the end.
Yeah, I think. He
goes, Kevin, what did you do to him? Like the last line is like he's getting yelled at by his brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like.
What did you do to my room?
Yeah. So like, that's.
And there's like birds in the second one, but they're just like being birds, you know?
Yeah, they're just birds. They're not like super smart. I hated that. Like the parrots, like the parrots like bargaining with the terrorists. Like, no, dude. Like, shut up. And then
the parrot understands like human morality.
Yeah, and and he also the parrot's like, I'm gonna light these fireworks up. That shit. I always hate that shit. That just doesn't fly with me. It always leads me to think the guys who make this think the kids are fucking jerk off idiots.
Well, they are.
I know that's true, but I
mean, look, if I watched this and I was like 10, which actually this did come out when I was 10, but if I was like a little kid, and maybe if I hadn't seen the first
I've never met anyone with any nostalgia for this movie because it was in theaters. But have you ever met anyone who's like, it was a good movie, Home Alone 3?
Yeah, Roger Ebert.
Really? He gave it a good review?
He said it was better than he thought it would be.
What did he expect?
He gave it 3 stars.
Really? Jesus.
Yeah. Wow. The goat.
Well, I'll look it up. So they find out that the car is in that kid's house. And they decide the next day they're going to get the kid. Why they don't just burst into that house? Because they make it very clear, too, that these people are murderers.
Yeah, they had no problem, like, killing
children,
and anyone who is in their way.
They're going to murder. So I don't understand why they don't just go inside that house and murder that whole family and take the fucking car. Instead, they're like, we're going to wait a day and go after the kid during the day. And then, like... So then the kid decides, this is my house. I have to defend it. This fucking line from the first movie. But he says, this is my neighborhood, too. Mm-hmm. They play a shitty 90s rock song while he sets up
It was so bad.
It was really bad. And then away we go. There's a snowstorm the next day, so the mom can't get to the house. Also, the FBI. Oh, he does call the Air Force when he finds the chip.
Yeah, he called an Air Force recruiting office.
Yes.
It was like it was like an Air Force stamp on the chip or something.
Yeah, so he calls
them. You know how they do that.
Yeah, and the Air Force is like, yeah, we'll look this up. You know what I mean? And
well, we don't really do that, but just this time we will.
For you, kid, we'll do it. But it actually worked out because now they know like there's this chip that's in Chicago. The FBI finds out, the CIA, whatever the fuck they are, Homeland Security. I don't know what all
this is also like some interesting propaganda too, because it was also like, local cops are idiots, but the feds, we got you.
Yeah, the feds are really smart.
Yeah.
So the feds...
You can trust the FBI.
We're going
to Chicago. If there's one lesson to take away from this movie.
And the Air Force. The Air Force listens to kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the cops fucking jerk-offs. But I feel like it's every movie. The local cop is an idiot.
It's a bumbling local cop.
And the federales are
in the suit.
Yeah.
You know he's smart because he's wearing a suit.
Yeah, the guy with the suit.
You're dumb because you're wearing a uniform.
Yes, that's always like in shows. You know what? I was watching a little bit and I was shocked. Grey's Anatomy, they make nurses out to be fucking retards.
Oh, I love Grey's Anatomy, and a lot of nurses are.
They are, but I'm like, that's like really...
Don't ask a nurse about Black Lives Matter.
But it's like really like...
Or COVID.
Like every episode, they're like yelling at a nurse. Like they're like, "You don't even know what you're doing," and I'm like,
"That's like what doctors do."
I know, but it's kind of funny.
Doctors are like arrogant assholes, and they don't respect nurses.
No, they don't.
Even though nurses do like all the hard shit.
I know, and I'm like, but I always thought I thought the show would be one of those shows like nurses work hard. Everyone in the hospital works so hard. Like I thought it was gonna be one of those shows, and instead they're just like, "This fucking nurse is an idiot," and I'm like, "Wow, that's like really a hard stance for that show to take."
I don't know. I feel like that's not like the central tenet of that show, but...
No, but every night when they do yell at nurses on the show. And the nurses are not like main characters.
Lots of people get yelled at on the show.
I know.
Nurses have their moments.
Oh, see, I only watched 5 episodes, so I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, well, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. There's like 19 seasons.
How funny is it the show's going to go on without Grey?
Yeah, of course.
I
thought she was going to leave a long time ago.
What?
I thought she was going to leave a long time ago, and then like they brought in like her sister... And then it was like kind of thought that she was going to be the Grey, and then they killed the sister. But now she has like all these other sisters, and like
she has other sisters.
Well, yeah, it's like really complicated.
It's really good.
There's been 19 seasons.
I know.
Although I haven't watched like the most recent ones. Although a girl I know is like in one of the new castmates.
Who's that?
This girl I know, Alexis Floyd.
Oh wow.
I haven't spoken to her in years, but
I have a feeling the show's going to eventually become like General Hospital, where
kind of already is.
They're never at the hospital. Have you ever seen a scene in General Hospital where they're at the hospital? I remember as a kid, my mom had it on. I'm like, why are they not
My
at the
grandma used to watch that a lot.
I said to my mom once, why are they not at the hospital? And my mom's like, they will be. And then every now and then it'll just be on, and I'll like they've never had and like you read, there's no hospital in General Hospital. I think it's gonna be like eventually there's gonna be no hospital in Grey's Anatomy.
I mean, the hospital in Grey's Anatomy is like, I mean, it should be shut down.
It should be shut. Yeah, it's pretty.
So many things have happened. It's been
didn't it blow up or something?
It's been blown up. There's been a mass shooting. Planes have crashed into it probably. Oh no, it's like they have to keep topping themselves. So it's just like, it's the most absurd.
I think you know what they should do.
Not unlike Home Alone 3.
They should bring back what's her name, Izzy, Catherine.
Oh no.
Yes, I don't know. It's gonna be. It's always weird when these shows keep going and then none of the original.
They wish they could bring back Christina Yang, but they can't afford her.
Oh yeah, which one was that?
Sandra Oh.
Oh, that was her. I thought you were talking about the actress name because I know Sandra Oh. Yeah, they should bring back Sandra Oh.
No, sorry, I was referring to the character. These are real people in my life.
Isaiah Washington. They should bring him back.
No, that fucking fuck no.
I know he. Who else did they write off that they could bring? They killed the shit out of the gay guy. I do remember that.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, they've killed a lot of people.
Yeah, well, he was the first one though. Like they really killed him. He got disfigured, then died.
Oh, so heart-wrenching.
Yeah, because
I just started a Grey's Anatomy podcast.
I remember didn't he say something against the creator, and then she like just murdered the shit out of him on the show. Like
no, I don't think so.
Okay.
Anyway.
So
Home Alone 3.
Home Alone 3.
So, fun fact that I looked up as we were starting to watch the movie.
Okay.
Apparently, so the T on Macaulay Culkin not being in it is originally it was supposed to be filmed like right when they filmed Home Alone 2.
Mm-hmm.
But then for whatever reasons there were delays, and then so it didn't come out till like 1997. And he had already taken he had already like pulled back from acting because he had done Richie Rich. And then, like, by that point, he was, like, 15, I think. So it's like...
Well, I think his last big one was, like, The Page Master, which was in 94, and then he kind of just vanished.
Yeah, after 94, he stopped.
90 to 94, he was, like, the king of the world. And then... Let me see if he did anything in 95. I don't think he did.
No, I think 94 is when he stopped.
Yeah, because 95... I remember 95 being the first year I felt like a teenager. Because even though I was 13 in 94, I still felt like a kid. I kind of feel like 14 is, like, when you're kind of, like, an official, like, teenager. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you can start doing your own shit. I'm not like, and I can remember him like being done. I mean, I'm just looking up his career.
There's also like, it's like once you like start hitting puberty as like a child actor.
Yeah.
It's like, that's like hard, you know?
94, he had 3 movies and then nothing until 2003. Wow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that was like a choice.
That was a choice, yeah.
Which I think it was important for him to have made.
Yeah, that was a smart choice, yeah.
Because he would probably be dead if he hadn't.
I forgot he did a movie with Ted Danson.
What did he do with Ted Danson?
Getting Even with Dad.
Oh, I never saw that.
Me neither. I don't think anyone's ever saw it. And then Page Master and Richie Rich. Wow. And then
Richie Rich was a great movie though.
He was in the Nutcracker? Who the fuck? He had a weird it feels like he was in like thousands of movies. He wasn't in that so he did Home Alone, Only and Lonely, My Girl, Home Alone 2, The Good Son, which I still want to see. I've never seen it.
You've never seen The Good Son?
No.
Oh, iconic.
Nutcracker, Getting Even with Dad, The Page Master, Richie Rich, and then that's it. And I feel
also
like
Uncle Buck.
Oh yeah, but I don't count anything before Home Alone. Yeah, but Uncle Buck.
Okay, that was a very big movie.
I know. That's another one I haven't seen. That's the 2 John Hughes movies I haven't seen yet.
But like all of those movies except Getting Even with Dad were like huge movies.
Was Richie Rich huge?
It was to me.
Okay. Yeah, I guess it was. I remember it came out Thanksgiving time. It was like that was like his last.
I mean, that was like it's like that and like Blank Check were like.
Yeah, well, there were a lot of Macaulay Culkin ripoff movies. So
yeah, that wasn't Macaulay Culkin, but just in the sense of like this like child fantasy.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't he
like
kiss the woman in the movie Blank Check? The little kid.
I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it's like sexual. I think it's maybe like a kiss on the cheek or something.
No, they kiss on the lips.
Oh well, yeah, but it's
some
like a
YouTuber showed it. Anyway.
But it's like a peck. It's not like.
All right. No, they passionately.
They make out. It's with tongue. He fingers her. He was actually the aggressor.
He fingers her while Joe Pesci falls down a flight of stairs. Whoa! Are you?
But yeah, I mean, like most of those movies were like massive movies. He was like a huge star.
Also, I kind of feel like,
and also like Michael Jackson was like friends with him. Like it was a weird time. He needed to step back from the spotlight.
He's funny though. Like he makes fun of himself. Like
yeah.
Which I like that. And I
also
also
he dated Mila Kunis.
No, I didn't know that.
When they were like teenagers, he was like 19 or something.
That's why I got sad when the Green Ranger killed himself. I like people that embrace what they were rather than be like, well, I don't want to fucking talk about that. It's bullshit. It's like, no, just embrace it. Like, once Home Alone made like $97 billion, you have to know, even at 9 or 8, or however old, this is my life now. This movie's, I will never escape this if I live to be 1,000. But you have to that's just the way it is.
8-year-olds have a pretty good grasp of that kind of thing.
But I'm just saying, even the parents should be like, well, this is going to be his life. Like,
well, I think
you're never going to escape this. And he didn't. But he kind of embraced it, which I think is healthier.
I mean, I think that I don't know much about their family dynamic, but it would seem to me that knowing nothing, that his parents must have done a good job, because I don't know anything.
I do. No, I think they had a falling out.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Well, I feel like just in the sense that like they have multiple kids.
You know what I realized? Like,
we're successful.
Every successful kid must have a shithead parent. I was watching a documentary on You Can't Say That on Television. Do you remember that show on Nickelodeon? Well, anyway, they would say, the casting director would be like, if a parent was asking questions and showing concern and looking around at the audition, no matter how good the kid was, he wouldn't take them. But if a parent goes like, yeah, I trust you, my kid, and just kind of like wanders off, that kid is probably going to get in. Because then we have to worry about the parent getting in our way and shit.
Yeah, that's gross as fuck.
Yeah, so like I just feel like a lot of kids who like super successful, I feel like nobody on a set, even though this is for the kid's benefit and it's a good parenting, wants a parent being like, what is going on with my kid? Why is she talking about his asshole? I don't understand. And instead, like, if the parent's like, I'll see you in a few hours, and you're like, all right, now wear a bikini.
I feel like there's like a
middle ground.
I feel like if you are a director who has a problem with the parent knowing what's going on with their child, then you're a bad person.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I have been on sets with children, with parents, and the directors were fine with it, because they weren't
I think like
trying to sell the kid's asshole.
Yeah, well, I think everyone.
But yeah, obviously there's a lot of that, and refer to any child star memoir for further information on that. But yeah,
it's a hard life.
It's a hard life, and it's a lot that you're not necessarily psychologically ready for, and there are a lot of parents who are just like happy to exploit their children for money.
Yeah. And in Hollywood, it's very easy to exploit your child for money.
Yeah. And it's very easy to get like caught up in the Hollywood of it all.
I know. Even though like I do feel like New York has more of the Hollywood thing going on right about now, but maybe,
But if we're talking about like the industry of Hollywood,
yes,
which is what
we're not talking about
and movie making. We're not talking about your own personal petty beefs in the comedy scene that literally nobody cares about.
I will tell you something. There's a lot of sex trafficking, I guarantee you.
In the comedy community?
Yes. No, I don't know. There's not. Anyone who doesn't book me,
I cannot endorse.
Anyone who doesn't book. Anyway, we'll talk about that another time. We'll talk about that. We're gonna save that for.
Listen, plenty of people who book you are also pedophiles. So.
Okay, we're gonna save the sex trafficking talk for Home Alone 5 because I think that's where that gets involved. But
that's actually what they're trying to do. That's the plot he's trying to foil.
That actually would be a really good plot to foil. Actually,
we're gonna. No, we don't need his toy. I mean, we
need
do.
him.
We need a toy to put in his
we
sweet
have
butthole.
A Russian mobster who wants his nursery of
directed by Woody Allen.
Well, yeah. So let's get into the traps, the pitfalls. First of all, I think this was the longest so far. I haven't seen 4, 5, or 6, but this is like the longest like beating the shit out of the criminals scene in Home Alone history.
Well, because there's 4 of them.
Yeah, but it's really long. It's like 1 and 2, like especially 1. I think the reason why 1 works so well. This is why I think 1 works so well. Is that it's a family movie. Then it's like a kid it's like a kid movie, and then it's like a movie about like how you should appreciate your family, and then there's like a little detour with John Candy, and it's very sweet, and then it becomes an action movie out of nowhere. But the action is so good and so funny that it all flows seamlessly. Like there's not a moment where you're like, how did this become an action film? Everything kind of flows seamlessly, and you know from minute one that Joe Pesci and this kid are going to come face to face, right? The whole movie's setting up this showdown, but you don't know how it's going to go down. And when it does, it's really exciting. It's like as exciting to me as like most action films, the final battle. And then it goes back to being like a beautiful Christmas movie. But the fact that it just can bounce through all that is what makes it work so well. And this movie didn't really do that. It didn't bounce between, because these are like, they're going to murder people. These are criminals who are going to murder people.
Yeah, they have guns.
Yeah.
Pesci and Stern didn't have guns.
Yeah, and it's like during the day, and I don't know. It's just like it's long, and some of the traps are
long.
There's shit.
Strong.
There's farts.
It's down to get the freak shit on.
People. There is like a lot more also like attacks on genitalia in this movie.
There's attacks on genitalia in the first ones too.
Is there? Did Daniel Stern get a mousetrap on his dick, or did I imagine that?
Something got on his dick. I don't remember
something
what.
got on his dick.
But that's just like a classic gag.
I mean, you
know?
gotta have some.
Oh, and then like fall down to the side. Like,
yeah.
You gotta do that.
Gotta have a guy get hit in the dick. Also, I feel like the other reason why this
Also,
movie.
they kind of foreshadow that with the got his thing slammed in the toilet seat.
Oh yes, and then she takes like a hammer to his thing.
Yeah.
His winky. They call it his winky.
She smacked my winky.
Also, the other thing, I think the reason why this movie didn't do well is because this type of movie where a kid like fights bad guys kind of like wasn't a thing anymore. Like kind of fell out of favor. Like Blank Check, Baby's Day Out, all that shit was kind of like 93, 94.
Yeah.
And like right around here, Pixar just was going.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of like a shift to where we are now with all these CGI films. And, you know, there's really no like big live action kids film, right? You know, I think I guess the Marvel films.
The Spy Kids movies were pretty big.
Those are big, yes, but aren't like I'm gonna punch you in the balls.
I mean, they were Spy Kids.
Yeah, they were kids who were spies. Yeah.
So
Agent Cody Banks, that was a big.
Agent Cody Banks that was kid, but it wasn't like he wasn't like physically. Oh yeah, he was. I was thinking of Big Fat Liar. Big Fat Liar also based on a Frankie Muniz movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Amanda Bynes.
But they were less violent.
They weren't as violent as this. They started toning down the violence a lot after this movie. This movie was pretty violent. But I remember you were like really invested in the criminals, the scenes where the criminals were being murdered, not murdered, but beaten up.
Mm-hmm.
Did you enjoy those scenes?
I think they were the most enjoyable parts of the movie.
Yes, they were. Yeah.
Anytime that they tried to be funny with dialogue, it fell super flat.
Mm-hmm.
But the physical comedy was fun. And the juxtaposition of like how the murderous intent of these criminals with like the super over the top silliness of like their physical gags and like I kid you not, like cartoon sound effects.
Yeah. I think
that was fun.
I think if you had either gotten Alan Rickman or Jeremy Irons and you had gotten Macaulay Culkin and you had done this idea as Home Alone 3 like a year after Home Alone 2, I think it would have been a good movie.
Yeah.
Because I think if you had gotten like Alan Rickman, especially if you had gotten Alan Rickman to be the villain and you had him like you're gonna be Hans Gruber again, but you're gonna get kicked in the balls by a parrot.
Yeah.
I think it would have worked because
it's gonna be Hans Gruber meets Three Stooges.
Yeah, I think it would have worked because these actors, they're trying to. I think the whole humor is like these are serious like actors and terrorists, and then they're gonna get like beaten up by a parrot. But these actors just didn't. They weren't good enough.
They kind of sucked. The guy who was supposed to be the funny one was like so painful.
Yeah. The guy looked like Michael Pierioli. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And also that was also why I enjoyed them getting the shit kicked out of them so much. Just because like I just didn't like them. Mm-hmm. Like not just like they were the bad guys, but just like it was so flat.
You know what? I think people do. I remember as a kid, I was like impressed by this. No one talks about in the same like year, within like 3 months of each other, Joe Pesci was scary as fuck in Goodfellas, and then goofy as hell in Home Alone. Like he pulled off both those things so seamlessly.
I think he also filmed Casino at the same time.
No, Casino was 95.
Okay.
Yeah, because I wanted to see it in theaters.
That's when it came out, but when was it filmed?
Probably like 93, 94.
Yeah, I think like
they're not gonna sit on that for 5 years.
Right. So we just watched Casino.
I gotta rewatch that. I did like that movie.
I've never seen it before.
Did you like it?
I did really like it. People had kept, because I love Goodfellas. Obviously, I'm human. But I anytime I get in a conversation about mom movies, people was like, "You gotta watch Casino. You're gonna love it." And so we finally watched it. And yeah, I really liked it. It's just so long.
Yeah.
It's like, honestly, it's been like what's deterring me from watching it for so long. 'Cause it's like
it's really long.
It's like 3 hours.
I want to like sit down and rewatch Godfather 1 and 2, and you're right. They're just so long. It's like
it's a real commitment.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait till I get COVID again. I guess I don't know. So I did watch a lot of movies when I had that. But that's my thing about Home Alone. That's the other reason why it works is that this guy's. I'm sorry.
90 minutes.
It's also 90 minutes. Yes, that's why it also works. But no, Joe Pesci's a scary motherfucker. And he's like, but he just tweaks it enough where it's like, he's a convincing villain. It's like, I don't know. It's just so good that this guy could do, but he wins an Oscar for one movie and he's like the star of the highest grossing film of all time 2 months later. And it's a completely different movie. And he's fucking awesome and he pulls it off, and I think that's what we needed. You needed a great actor to go against this kid.
You need a scary guy being slightly less scary.
Yes, and
it's just because he's like inept.
Yes, Joe Pesci's inept,
and Marv is so goofy. So then they have that kind of odd couple energy.
Yes,
and it's like Joe Pesci would be a lot scarier if it was just him by himself. But because Marv is there constantly like goofing shit up, that like leads to hijinks.
And Joe Pesci, like when he's getting like the shit kicked out of him and making these cartoon faces, I would never feel like he's losing his dignity. Like I kind of felt like these actors lost their dignity in a lot of like scenes where it's like they just looked so stupid. But he just pulls it off. You know who I felt really bad for? I was talking about this, Glenn Close in the 101 Dalmatian 1 and 2, because both movies just end with her like falling into Home Alone traps, but it's just really weird. It's just like it's odd that like it's just odd watching like a horse and a dog like set up Home Alone traps, and it's like, wow, John Hughes, you're just really lazy. You're just ending every movie like Home Alone now.
Did John Hughes do
Dalmatians? He wrote 100. At least he wrote part 1. I don't know if he wrote 102 Dalmatians, but he wrote 101 Dalmatians. Yeah, he was the writer.
Oh wow, I had no idea.
Yeah, and once you get to the final,
that sounds pretty lazy.
What?
That sounds pretty lazy.
Yeah, she's like in a barn and like she's and then she gets back up. You stupid dog! Whoa! But it's like it's just her alone falling into things over and over again. Wah!
And
then the cops just arrest her. But it was like, but Glenn Close couldn't pull off what Joe Pesci did, which is have dignity while being made to look like an idiot. I just am like, oh, poor Glenn Close. This sucks for her.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like it's like a tough bar.
Yeah.
Because like Joe Pesci is just so amazing.
Yeah, but I do think if this general idea, Macaulay Culkin, Alan Rickman, you get the buzz. Get Buzz back. I think it would have worked.
I think if they had done it like
right away,
right after, it could have worked.
Take place during Christmas or Thanksgiving week, even if you want to do that.
Oh, Thanksgiving week.
Yeah.
Hanukkah, even. Just kidding.
Well, no, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa.
None of the people in this neighborhood celebrate Hanukkah or Kwanzaa. I know.
Turns out, like more people are home when it's Hanukkah. Like. But no, I think
they don't even know what Hanukkah is.
I think it would have worked. Like Alan Rickman, Jeremy Irons. Who's someone else that's a good villain that it could have maybe like Tom Sizemore, Robert Downey Jr.
No, not at this time.
God, that would have been a weird one. Okay, maybe not. Woody Harrelson, you think? Jim Carrey.
No. Jim Carrey was not a villain.
I mean, they tried it with Batman Forever. It didn't really work.
Okay, but like...
And in the Sonic movies, he's a great villain in those two.
In a cartoon, yeah.
That was a live act. Well, it's a live act.
Well, but it's based on a cartoon. It's not...
Well, it's based on a video game. You need to relax.
I was talking about Batman.
Oh, Batman. Well, Batman's a comic book. It's not really...
Yeah.
All right.
A drawing.
Okay, it's based on a drawing, all right?
People draw it, so it's a cartoon.
But... No, I think that would have worked. I think
also Batman was a cartoon.
I know. I think this was just 5 years later. The actors all stink, and people were like,
I do like the boy.
"You like the boy?"
I like the boy.
I didn't like the boy.
love. Did you ever see One Fine Day?
I thought you were about to say I love little boys. I was like,
I love little boys.
I love little boys.
Not like that.
Wait. The movie One Fine Day, is that
Yeah,
with
George Clooney and Michelle Pfeiffer.
No. Is it about One Fine Day?
One fine day. What? It's like a rom-com.
Yeah, they meet and fall in love or something.
Yeah, and then he's like her kid, and he's involved. He's in the movie.
Oh, that kid is in that.
That
okay.
kid plays Michelle Pfeiffer's kid in
Oh,
One
okay.
Fine Day.
That came out the same time.
Yeah.
That kid had a big year.
Yeah, it was a big year for him.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved him in that. He was really cute. I love that movie. It's really sweet.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's an underrated New York.
It is. Yeah, I remember it getting a lot of hype when it came out, and then people just forgot about it.
Not me, baby.
Not you.
I think I saw the DVD somewhere.
You know what movie was not good?
I was real horny for George Clooney as a 10-year-old. Don't talk to me about it. Talk to the producers of ER.
You know what movie was not good? That was kind of like the same time frame. Stepmom. That movie was just depressing.
What?
You like Stepmom?
Everybody loves Stepmom.
Are we talking about the movie with
You're a boy.
Susan Sarandon
Yes!
and Julie? Okay. I saw that with a girl on Valentine's Day.
Oh my God, that was a mistake.
Yeah. Well, we snuck in. We paid to see She's All That.
You should have gone to see She's All That.
We did. We saw both.
Okay.
She's Stepmom kind of killed the vibe. So.
Yes. Oh, the one with the mom who has cancer? Hey, you want a bone? Now that you're thinking about your mom dying? Because that's all you. That's what this movie makes you think.
Well, she was just shitting on the movie the entire time. Who gives a fuck about them? He was kind of a heartless person. Who gives a fuck
How
about
old are
them?
you?
She was. I just turned 17. She was 15, going on 16.
She was 15, going on 16.
I think she turned 16 the next month. Yes. So we were basically a year apart.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
I
no accounting for taste, I suppose.
I know she didn't like She's All That either, but I don't think.
Okay, well, this girl sucks.
This girl sucks. He did.
Let's go find her.
She's
I'll
in
be like,
Massachusetts.
oh, you didn't like the movie She's All That? Well, guess what? My name's Rachel Lee Cook, and I'm here to kick your ass.
Wait, wasn't she a mom in something recently, Rachel Lee Cook?
I don't know.
All right.
Not her agent.
All in all, I would say if you're ever in the mood for early January, this is the movie for you.
If you want, listen, if you're looking for something that takes place in early January that doesn't threaten the security of the very nation that you live in.
Although
Home
it kind
Alone
of
3.
does. Kind of does. They
Actually,
won.
yeah, this is also terrorists.
Yes.
But like fun. Well, January 6th also is funny in its own way.
I like the fact that comedians where it just did not affect their booking whatsoever.
I want to see a Home Alone 5. That's
there is a Home Alone 5.
Okay, well, Home Alone 6.
There is a Home Alone 6.
Okay, well, whichever one. What does it max out?
It's at 6, right?
Okay, well, let's get sweet number 7.
Okay.
Home Alone 7, but it's like whatever little child actor du jour foiling all the domestic terrorists on January 6th.
He's
this is my house too.
This is
and
my
then he's
pitch.
just like setting up barbells and paint cans.
This is my pitch for Home Alone 7. You ready for my pitch?
Mm-hmm.
This is my idea. So Marv reformed. He reformed. And he had kids. And his kids had kids. And his grandkid is home alone. And they can't get to him.
So it's like 2050.
This is like now. If Marv gets out of prison in 93 and immediately impregnates a woman, and then that kid immediately impregnates...
He does not have grandkids from that.
Hold on. And that kid... So, 1994. Let's give him time. So, he has his first kid in 94. That kid in 2014 has a kid. The kid would be 10. Let's give that kid a little bit more time. That kid has a kid at 25. The kid's like 5 now, all right? So, he could have a grandkid.
What math did you just do?
I'm saying, like, in 94, the kid would be 20 in 2014, right? The kid can impregnate people at 16.
I mean, he can impregnate people younger than that, but yeah.
Yes,
sure.
he could, yes. So that kid, or if it's a guy or a girl. So let's say it's a girl. So she's a single mom. That makes it even more of a peril. So the mom... So if she's 20 in 2014, and then a 22 has a kid in 2016, the kid would be 5 and 6 right now, right? The kid will be 6. The kid's going on 7.
So she has a kid in 2014.
Or 15. So anyway, the kid's home alone. Whatever.
Sure.
This kid's now by itself. And there's criminals from Marv's past.
The kid's home alone because it's a single mom and
she forgot the kid.
She can't afford childcare.
Yeah. And
now someone's calling
for
child
whatever
services and
reason,
she's getting arrested. For
Marv can't get to the house. And the mom can't get, or the dad, whatever. Or no one gets to this kid.
The dad's not involved if she's getting pregnant at 20.
And maybe the dad, maybe she left the dad because he was abusive. Now he's coming to kidnap the kid. With
Marv's
criminals.
abusive?
No. This is Marv's Marv's daughter. Marv meets a woman.
Oh my God. You are, okay.
Marv has a grand. His daughter's a single mom and she has a kid. So
Babies having babies.
Marv's like, I can't get to this fucking kid. So he calls Macaulay Culkin to save the kid, Kevin. And Kevin goes to the house and teaches the kid to make traps to stop the stepdad or whoever's going to go come for this kid. So it's this kid and Kevin working together. At the last second, they get captured by the criminals. And then out of nowhere, Joe Pesci shows up and saves the day. So it's the Wet Bandits and Macaulay Culkin teaming up to save a kid. And then at the very, very end of the movie, we find out that Kevin and his mom stopped talking for whatever reason. And the end of the movie, you know how like every movie ends with like the mom being like Kevin and he runs to her? He goes to find her and they reunite. And then that's my idea.
Who do you see as the target audience for this movie?
Basically people who like Cobra Kai, like everyone who like can't let go of their childhood. But
basically like people who have the exact same perverse interests as me.
Yes. I mean, no, Macaulay Culkin and a kid working together, and Joe Pesci joins in. I think that's a fun movie.
It's a tough pitch.
But we got to bring... Eventually, you got to bring Kevin back into these movies.
I don't know that you do.
I say you do.
You can also just stop making these movies.
I mean, you could, but they're not. That's the problem. They're not.
We need to stop enabling John Hughes, I think.
You know, it's so funny. My friend complained about Indiana Jones 5 today, and I said, okay,
Crystal
dude.
Skull?
What?
Is that Crystal Skull?
No, the new one. The trailer came out today.
Oh, Crystal Skull was 4.
The big rumor is that Phoebe
trailer.
Bridges is going to take over the role. And he was bitching and moaning, and I'm like, bro, here's how you want Phoebe Bridges to not take over these movies. How about we just don't go? If you just don't go,
he's dying.
What?
He's dying.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, like, if you
someone
don't,
has to take over.
If you don't want them to make any more of these movies, you just don't go to them.
Yeah.
Like the problem is people bitch and moan and make YouTube videos, but then they go.
They go buy a ticket. If you buy a ticket and hate the movie and shit on the movie, they get the same amount of money as if you buy a ticket and love the movie. It's also like.
Because
like all this shit with like Dave Chappelle and like, you know, the controversy of like all this stuff. But it's like, okay, but everyone's watching it. So it doesn't matter if you hate it. They're getting the numbers.
Oh, yeah. Like Alex Jones. I don't know what's going on Alex Jones' show. Guess what? I got alerts on my phone about what happened today on Alex Jones.
Everything that's going on. Not because I'm watching it. Just that people post about it on Twitter.
No, but I'm saying like today was a huge day for him. So you can be like, oh, this is awful that Kanye said this, that, and the third. But like.
I mean, it is awful.
It is awful. No, it is. But, like, I'm just saying people did watch it. So, like, that's the thing. You just don't watch. You just don't pay attention. And
no,
like,
I mean, this is more than that, though.
I know.
But we don't need to get into that. We're really making a sharp left turn.
I know. But I'm just saying that, like, fucking, my whole point is.
Vote with your dollars.
Yes.
Look, I work in a coffee shop. We were open on Thanksgiving. I had to work 8 hours on Thanksgiving. It fucking sucked. Oh, yeah, it sucked. But let me tell you. Life hack. If you're ever in a retail establishment on a major national holiday, don't say to the person who is being forced to work there, wow, I can't believe you're here today.
It's like, well, why are you here?
Well, I'm here because you're fucking here.
Yeah, because you were going to come in and say this.
And guess what? You came in and it was busy and I didn't think it was, and, you know, and it's like, well, great. Well, now guess what? Now you guys are fucking guaranteed that next year whoever's working here, because I sure as hope it's not me in a year, is going to have to come in to work.
Yeah.
And not get to watch the parade or football or whatever the fuck they were planning to do. Nope. I'm going to make turkey sandwiches for some fucking reason.
You had to make sandwiches?
Yeah, we make bagel sandwiches.
Oh.
And, like, the amount of people who are coming in on Thanksgiving ordering turkey sandwiches... from the coffee shop. I'm like, you should kill yourself.
Can
I hope this is your last meal.
Can I
and
just
that you're gonna kill yourself.
tell you
after.
something? The most miserable people in the world came out to Caroline's on Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yeah.
Like they were just not good people.
Nobody loves them and they don't have friends, so
Yeah.
that's why they're going out on those days.
I'll never forget the woman came alone on Thanksgiving, and I think
and it's everybody's problem.
I'm sorry.
And now it's everybody's problem.
Well, she said something like she was a teacher, but she started heckling. She was heckling. She went to the Paul Mooney show, and she was heckling Robin Montague, and she just kept heckling and heckling and heckling. And Robin gave it to her, like really gave it to her. Do you know who Robin Montague was? She's still alive? I shouldn't say was.
No, not really.
She's a female comic.
It's vaguely familiar, but
Yeah, and so Robin Montague talked back, and the woman like left crying. Like I'll never forget. She's just crying hysterically and left and like sobbing like like low. And I just want to be like, why did you put yourself out? I don't know. It's just like these are just lost souls. Like people that are out going to like fucking comedy shows and shit on Thanksgiving, not being with their families. They're just lost souls. Like we shouldn't cater to them. They should be alone and shunned.
yeah, with capitalism.
I know that's true, but like I look back to Thanksgivings I worked and I really resent it. I resent it 100%.
Well, yeah, it's because your family's all dead.
I did, yeah, but now I have my new family. I mean, they're not my same family, but now I'm over there. Yeah, it's like you should be with your family. You should be, and if you're not with your family,
Well, you don't have a family.
Who?
Just whoever. You now, but like whoever.
Yeah. Well, now I got to go somewhere else and there's a family. But Christmas Day, I'm just going to go to my friend's house and then come back. And I'm not going to go to Christmas Eve. I get it. Christmas Eve is a fun time to go out. So I get going out on Christmas Eve. But Christmas Day, I'm not going to I don't know. I might go to the gym, but that's different. But they're going to be open anyway. No, don't go to the gym?
You can go to the gym, but you have to go up to everybody working and be like, "Wow, I can't believe you're here on Christmas."
I'm gonna wear a shirt that says that actually. Anyway, we got way off track. Home Alone 3, yay or nay? What do you think?
Meh. It's fine.
You don't give it a hard no?
No, not a hard no.
Okay. If you
The second half is fine.
okay,
It's not the worst. I bet that I bet it gets worse from here on out.
Yeah,
I bet it's a steady downhill.
The
slope.
other ones seem really horrendous.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna watch them though. The new one seems really, really bad because they're
Wait,
doing.
There's a new one.
Yeah, it came out last year. Home Sweet Home Alone.
What?
Yeah, Pete Holmes is in it. That's the dad.
Oh God.
I think there's another.
I was right. It does get worse.
The guy, Rob Delaney, is the villain, but he's not. Disney's doing this thing now where there's not really villains in kids' movies. So Rob Delaney's trying to get into the house, but he's not a burglar.
That's the grooming.
Yeah, that there's no real villains.
No bad guys.
Yeah.
You can trust all these adults.
You know what? That's a good point. There hasn't been a villain in Moana didn't have a villain. Frozen 2 has no villain. Raya in the last
Frozen 1 had a villain.
Frozen 2 had no villain.
But I'm saying before.
Yeah, Frozen 2 was very not good.
I did not.
The music was good though, but really not. It really no point to it. But there's no villain. Toy Story 4, there's no villain. What was the other one that really didn't have a villain? I forget. But there's they're not putting villains in these movies anymore. And I kind of feel like that sucks because my favorite characters.
It's like the participation trophy of.
Yeah, my favorite characters in Disney films are villains.
Yeah.
And Home Alone works because of the villains.
I mean, yeah, I think. Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah. So.
I mean, Jafar.
Oh, Jafar's great.
What is my childhood without Jafar or Scar? They have to. Their names have to end in R.
I was shocked when I did the Aladdin podcast and I looked into Aladdin, especially on Tumblr, how many people said when he makes Jasmine kind of like his slave girl.
Yeah, it's hot.
How many people were turned on by that?
Yeah, it's super hot.
As kids.
Yeah.
Which was that one of your oh my god, this is great.
Yeah, Jafar's hot.
Yeah. When he puts her in a skimp and he puts her in a skimpier outfit.
Yeah.
Even though she's already in a skimpy outfit.
But it's red.
It's red now, yeah.
Racy.
Yeah. And that stuff is fun. Villains are fun and I think you can't hide kids the fact that there's pieces of shit in the world. Because they go to school with pieces of shit that are their own age. So they need to know.
Yeah. And it's just like that's just like life, you know. Like there are things that are bad in the world. Like I don't think it benefits children to try to shield them from. You know, you can kind of sugarcoat things and put them in a way that makes.
I'm not saying
sense.
Moana there should be a villain that like fucking like punches Moana in the fucking skull, but I'm just saying there should, you know.
What was the movie with the feelings?
Oh, Inside Out. Yeah.
That was like more of an existential villain.
Yeah, the villain was like yourself.
But like I love that movie. I think that's like such a good movie for kids.
That's a good movie that doesn't need a villain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like in the same way of that it's like it's kind of telling kids that like there is stuff that's bad.
Yeah.
But you can overcome it.
Yeah.
Which is I think also the big part of like having a villain in a kids movie because the hero always wins.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like, yes, there are bad people. There are people who will do bad things and try to hurt you. But if you, whatever the moral is, if you like bond with your family or like you work together with your friends, like you can overcome it, like whatever, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Like there's always like a lesson.
Yeah.
So it's like, beyond that, it's just like all this milquetoast, like propaganda Paw Patrol shit or whatever.
Oh, fuck the Paw Patrol. Bunch of assholes. You know,
Does the Angry Birds movie have a villain?
Yeah, but then they were no longer villains in the second movie, but there was a third villain. I heard those movies are like really good. I never seen them. I bought both of them because I'm a maniac, but I haven't watched them.
You have an addiction.
What?
You have an addiction.
Yeah, yeah. I've kind of slowed down on buying kids' films, at least on
That's
Blu-ray.
good.
Yeah.
Because you're probably coming up on a couple red flag lists.
The fact that I bought Angry Birds 1 and 2.
Hey, this is a grown man who lives alone, buys only children's movies. Maybe we should look into this.
Did they saw
Freeze
like
his account.
my Amazon? Well, I did. 3 years ago, I wanted to finish my mom's Disney collection, which I did, but I haven't yet. But
You wanted to finish on your mom's Disney collection, you sick fuck.
she wanted all the Disney animated films. That's what inspired this podcast. Doing that, yeah.
Going into the vault.
Going into the vault.
Man, they don't do that anymore.
They don't do that anymore. They kind of probably never do it again because you can just see this
Never.
shit.
You just get anything anytime you want.
But I loved those the Blu-rays, special features are really great. And I'm afraid that's gonna be lost. I don't know. Like it's kind of.
I don't know. I think it's gonna make a comeback. I do miss special features. I loved special features.
Oh, there's still I still get movies that have special features. I mean, I got this one movie.
And I don't get movie. Yeah, I don't get.
You don't buy
physical-
this stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
I still buy them, but like.
I still have my old ones, but I'm not buying new ones. Maybe someday.
But some of the commentaries are funnier. Like you know who's really funny on the commentary tracks? Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck's really good on commentary.
He's really funny, and it's like.
Well, also, he was hammered, I think. So.
Well, he gets drunk in the Armageddon one I heard.
Yeah.
And he's like, what the fuck is this?
Yo,
movie?
the Armageddon one's good.
Really?
Yeah, I was like really into Armageddon.
He's really good in the Mallrats one.
Surprisingly good commentary.
Mallrats. Right.
Dude, Where's My Car?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sean Scott and Ashton Kutcher. It's actually really funny.
Anchorman is a good commentary track. The first one. I don't know about part 2. I kind of feel like now you could do a commentary track and say anything because no one listens to them anymore.
Yeah, it's a podcast now is what it is.
Yes, but I feel like now, like if I don't know, like what's a movie that, like what's the new movie with George Clooney and Julia Roberts?
Ticket to Paradise.
Yeah, if George Clooney recorded a commentary track and like was basically like, yeah, I am part of the sex cult in Hollywood. I work with Jeffrey Epstein.
Every George Clooney commentary is just him talking about all the different pranks that he was doing on.
Oh, really? You listen to his commentaries?
Well, yeah. Well, okay. So Ocean's 11 was also a big movie for me. And there are multiple commentary tracks on that movie. I think he's just on one of them.
Okay.
There's one that's like Cass, and then there's one that's like Steven Soderbergh, and then like the director of photography and like whatever. But yeah, like that's like a big part of it. I mean, that's a really good. Both of those are really good.
I remember when I was a kid, oh my God, commentary. I remember I listened to my first DVD was American Pie, and I listened to it like 3 times. It's not very good, but I was like, this is amazing. I got a commentary track, and it's just like that being like, oh, we shot this, and I had this idea because well, she was hot. And
Yeah, commentary tracks walked so that podcasts could run, and look at us now.
Look at us now doing this. This is so much better in person. I know I'm kind of like the Zoom was good for the pandemic. I gotta do more of these in person because it's just better.
Yeah, it's good if you like can't physically be in the same place.
Oh yeah, if I get like an LA comic that I want to.
Yeah, it's like nice. Okay, we could do it, but yeah, I think it is. But I think it's nicer to watch it together too.
Yeah. I started that. COVID hit, but like. My best episodes, like Christina's episodes with Spider-Man, are good, and her Little Mermaid episodes, a classic. Our Maleficent episodes are great.
Yeah, really, just me and Christina.
Yeah, really, I just have you on it.
We should just be.
And we'll just
the
rant about
podcast.
Kanye and Home Alone 5. Because a lot of these other
Kanye
comics.
should be the villain in Home Alone 7.
I remember I had this one comic on. I'm not going to mention who it is. But I was like, so what do you think of the Muppets movie? I mean, I shut it off for 20 minutes. I was like, okay.
What?
That's great. What's the point of
The
this?
Muppets movie?
No, it was like one of the newer ones. It was like
The Jason Segel one?
no, the other one I think. The Muppets
The
Most
second.
Wanted.
Oh, I didn't. See
I really didn't pay attention. I was like, why are we?
Why are we here?
Why are you doing it? You're supposed to.
You had one job.
When it's bad, that makes a better podcast.
It's a watching. We can't talk shit about it if you don't watch it.
Yeah, because then I had to like, well, if this is what you missed. Yeah, sounds stupid. And I'm like,
Cool podcast.
Thanks
for playing along.
Thanks. Yeah,
That's look, anytime you do a watching something podcast and then we talk about it,
like I shut it off.
you have to watch
I
it.
didn't really like it.
Oh my god.
To be honest with you, I'm not into this shit.
I did a house rewatch podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Of the show house.
Yeah, the show house. And she'd be like, I don't like that episode. Like,
Oh, really?
no, I should have been like that. You know?
You know what? To be honest with you, I never really.
You know what? I really like season 3 better.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't really fuck with season 2.
Oh, God, yeah. So that's what it was. Klemp, where can people find you now? Besides the coffee shop, where else can they find you? Social media.
I am where I always have been and probably always. Well, for as long as it lasts, you can find me on Twitter at Alison Klemp, ALISONKLEMP. And when that fails, find me on Instagram. And
You have a TikTok yet, or are you not?
I have one. I might start posting videos again, so follow me, see what happens. I don't know.
I gotta start. I got a bunch of shows from Funny Bones. So I'm gonna start posting more clips. They taped all the shows, and they're not all of them, but since May, and they finally got, because I'm like, hey, I want to make TikToks to promote my next date, which is, by the way, December 18th, with Mike Keegan as the headliner, who's very Republican, but he's fat, so it's okay.
Well, at least he'll die soon.
At least he'll die soon.
So there's that.
Isabel Haig was supposed to headline, and then she bailed, so I have him.
All right.
All right, good.
Well, there you go.
But do you still do the Tableverse?
We've been on a long hiatus.
Mm-hmm.
But there are lots of episodes to check out in the meantime. And I'll probably start a podcast soon. I don't know.
Yeah, you should like a political podcast, because like you're really into that stuff, you know.
Yeah.
You gave me that look, but you're into that stuff. It would be a good podcast.
There aren't enough people talking about politics on podcasts, I think.
I know, but you're Klemp.
I am Klemp.
So there you
and
go.
I do it better. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean,
Something.
There's a lot of people talking about dating, and somehow there's so many fucking podcasts now about dating. There's so many fucking.
I kind of want to do a Grey's Anatomy podcast. Now I'm even talking about Grey's Anatomy.
Can I tell you?
I really love Bones. I kind of want to do a Bones podcast, but there already is one. But there's probably a Grey's Anatomy
Can I tell you
podcast.
why? So I don't know if you noticed, but I have a lot of Grey's Anatomy's DVDs until they stopped making them. You want to know why? Well, how that happened?
You're trying to get laid?
That's part. Okay. So I was into a girl in 2000.
That's a girl show.
I was into a girl in 2006 that liked Grey's Anatomy, and I went to the DVDs.
Oh, that was a good time.
I went to the DVD shop, and season 1's there. It was very cheap.
Yeah.
And I thought about buying that for her for Valentine's Day. And then I was there to buy some other DVDs. Like I bought Golden Girls, one of the seasons, and like some new movie that came out back then. So I buy it, and then I'm like, oh, this is forward. I shouldn't get her a gift. I don't know. So I opened it, right? And then I'm like, no, but I should give it to her. So I went and bought another one. So I kept the one that I opened. And then season 2 came out a few months later. Remember, season 1 was very short. So I was like, well, I have season 1.
It started like mid-season.
I have season. Yeah, it's only like 9 episodes. Well, I have season 1. I might as well get season 2. And I bought season 2. And then it kept going. Like, well, how long can this show go? and then Private Practice started, and I'm like, well, I have Grey's Anatomy. That's a spinoff. I should buy that too. So I started buying Private. So I have every season of Private Practice. So if you ever want to do
you have a problem.
If you ever want to do a Private Practice, and then like they haven't been putting out seasons on DVD anymore, which is really annoying. I have to admit, No, it's bullshit because you can't stop. This show's not going to be 92 fucking seasons. You can't stop. You got to keep putting out the DVD sets. I mean, anyway. So I got really annoyed though because there's a Firehouse spinoff. You know about the Firehouse spinoff?
Yeah,
right?
Station 19.
That's not on DVD either. So like now it's like I was like, because I thought like, oh, it's gonna last like 5 seasons, right? And then I'll just have this 5-season show, and it didn't. It's still going.
I got a show for you.
What's that?
Hoarders.
I know, right? That's my show, and it's still going. But my ADD would not allow me.
That's
and now,
not ADD.
What is it?
That's OCD.
OCD wouldn't allow me to just be like, well, I have season 1 of Grey's Anatomy. What the fuck ever. Instead, I was like, I have to have every season, and it's still going.
How about I just take all these DVDs away from
No,
you?
I'm gonna watch it one day. There's gonna be a marathon, and I'm gonna watch. I'm not gonna watch it on Netflix.
And then you're gonna hit a wall, and you're never gonna know what happened.
When the show ends, I'm gonna marathon all of it, and with Private Practice intertwined.
And then you're gonna have to intertwine Station 19.
I will, and if Station 19 is a spinoff, I'll intertwine that too.
All right.
It'll be the best.
I haven't watched Station 19, but they do a lot of like crossover stuff.
Did you watch
with Grey's
Private
Anatomy.
Practice?
I did, but I don't think I finished it because it got a little ridiculous.
It's a very whenever I put it on, because I've put on the DVDs that to fall asleep. It's a very like weird show.
Yeah.
It's just like, what is the purpose of this?
It is really weird, although it is how I learned how to pronounce midwifery.
Yeah, aren't they like alternative medicine? Is that the thing of the show?
They are not all alternative medicine, but they do have some alternative medicine doctors at the practice.
And didn't like the girl
It's
from
very
like
inclusive.
one of the girls get murdered or something on the show?
Someone steals her baby from inside her stomach.
They should bring that character back. The one that was the lead in
She
Private
was a
Practice.
good... Who, Addison?
Yeah, make her the lead now.
I think they did.
Okay.
They do bring her back occasionally. She comes back here, hither and thither.
I don't know how this, but anyway, that's why I have
haven't
all the.
watched since the pandemic started because they do COVID in the show,
Yes, they did do COVID.
and I didn't want to watch that.
I put one episode on to see how they handled it, and they're actually like, I think that's the safest show to work on because they have like they're doing scenes with
You
all
already
the shit
have,
on.
yeah, PPE. A lot of medical shows when the pandemic first hit, like, sent actual PPE to hospital when there was like that shortage and like doctors didn't have masks or whatever. They like, because all these shows have tons of all that shit, and it's, you know, actual gloves and actual masks, you know. So yeah, just another case of Hollywood saving the day.
But now, like, I think with DVDs, like, so many shows like don't really have DVD sets anymore. Like, I started watching Lucifer, but I'm buying it, and I just buy it on Vudu. So I'm weaning off. Like,
Well, you're still buying all this shit.
well, I'm not buying. Well, they don't offer the Disney Plus shows to buy. But here's the other reason I buy stuff, because, you know, if something's just on streaming, they can take it away, and then you have no means of watching it.
Yeah, I was talking about this with someone earlier today. Actually.
And like, you know,
It's weird to like own something but like not actually be able to have
Yes.
it. And like if your internet goes out, you can't access this thing.
Yes,
you
and
own.
like I can watch Angry Birds 2 whenever I feel like it.
Yeah, as long as you have power.
Well, yeah, but I mean, anyway,
Yes,
it's
you
just
can.
it's
No,
just
I agree.
it's just like HBO took away so much shit that was only HBO Max, like the Pickle movie and stuff like that.
That was really fucked up. I really started thinking about it then.
And it's like, but it's like, you made this only for HBO Max.
Right.
You didn't make it for other things.
It doesn't exist anywhere else.
Yes.
So it's just like wiped from existence.
Yeah, and it's like,
and people worked on that.
I know, and then there was an Aquaman cartoon they took off, which I still gotta buy.
Like it sucks to like have created something and then not be able to access it.
Yeah. And I feel like now more than ever, because there's a lot of movies like I've gone to streaming to watch. They're not on streaming, you can't rent them. And the DVD's now through the roof.
Yeah.
The prices. So like it's almost like you can kind of hide media now, you know? You just anyway, that's a whole other story. Like Kids is not available on anything. Remember the movie Kids?
Really?
Yeah. And you got to buy it, and the DVD is like super expensive. So.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I should take back what I said. Maybe you're sitting on a gold mine.
I think one day I am.
Someday people are going to break in your house and rob all your DVDs.
And when the purge starts, which will be in 2025.
Yep. When
Once,
we make America great again.
as soon as Trump and Kanye win again.
They're going to run as co-presidents. No Vice.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that's the whole story. Guys, if you enjoyed this episode, this has been the longest episode
I'm
in a
sorry.
while.
I was going to say, this is like a 3 hour. Is this episode longer than the movie?
It's longer than the movie.
Yeah, baby.
If you enjoyed this super long look back at Home Alone 3 and Grey's Anatomy,
If you're still listening,
that we have
I'm
a
sorry
backlog.
about your insomnia.
I like the Home Alone 2 podcast was like 25 minutes long because I was like, oh, they're gonna shut us down, and like, all right, quick. And this one gets an hour and 40
It
minutes.
deserves it.
It
Well, we're shorter than the movie. We should end now. It was 100 43 minutes.
Look, I just gotta get my plugs in. So
Get your
follow
plugs
me
in.
on
Your
Instagram, TikTok, all that shit. Ray Gootz Comedy on TikTok. Go back to the archives of the podcast. We did a bunch of shit. Our Maleficent episodes are great. Tell them.
Yeah, listen to our Maleficent episodes.
Yeah, they're awesome. And we'll be back next week. Dan Barry returns to talk about Home Alone 4.
Poor guy.
And we'll eventually get back to Home Alone 1. Thank you, guys. Good night.